you're hoping you can get. I mean, they can't play anything, right? So
if they played the
Yeah.
Galactus, they kill one card. That death then becomes a 5-drop. If they have a 1-drop in their deck, that's what they were banking on.
yeah.
And no one had snapped at that point, so they were just going for it. Cloning the Nebula right off the bat on turn number 1 as we head into Kunlun for number 2. Make this a little larger on my screen. There we go. It's this. I'm pretty sure this is. Yeah, this seems like a pretty straightforward, classic, if you will, variation. And the peak
is going to be interesting.
Peak, Taskmaster, and the Null.
Yeah,
that's big.
Killed the Doc Ock though, but you know, Peak is always a scary card. You have to assume after seeing the Doc Ock and stuff, they know they're probably on some type of Galactus deck. So that snap was not what they wanted to see.
True. I mean, especially if you could potentially be sitting on a 2/6 Galactus. Yes, please.
So we've got High Evo in here. Have we seen any cards that High Evo works with? Is it Misty?
Not yet. We haven't seen.
Is that the one drop he was banking on?
I don't know, but he has not pulled. I would assume with this style of deck, he's probably looking at all of the death play. So High Evo and an Abomination would be my assumption.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Well, no, that wouldn't be negative necessarily. Right. So if you could get the Evo down, it's just to beef up Null. So it could be that. It could be.
Yeah, any High Evo card. I was gonna say any High Evo card would not be good with Null. So maybe he just has Hulk.
Yeah, for the big kaboom. Potentially. We'll see. He's got the wave he's gonna drop. It's just a matter of, does he continue to clog the Monster Island and leave Westview flexible?
Yeah,
3 cards. Everybody's stacking.
Because Dark Dimension's not very great for him. It messes with any kind of Galactus play, which means it has to go into Westview. I mean, this is clearly just not a
what?
Galactus. He's not going to play Galactus this way.
It's not a Galactus line. Not a Galactus line, but you do have, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Destroyer because Mojo World is not going to be your best friend, but you do have some things that you can hide up until the very end as well. So go ahead and kill everything that's down there. Go to 15 power, open up your lane, and then sit on something hiding in Dark Dimension with a little bit of an oomph. Wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. He can't play 2 cards, which does kind of hurt him a tad. So he's just trying to think, what do I play on the last turn if that's the case? I think in the Taskmaster right now is probably pretty solid.
I think Taskmaster left. I mean, you're going to have to death here. Your Taskmaster is going to be your death.
Yep. And there goes the MODOK. So based on that, I don't see this as a hella combo as we see everything go. The Apocalypse is now up to 16. With a final draw, so probably Chavez in the hand, 16 over there.
Yeah, it's gotta
16.
Be, you got Null.
That's rough.
But that's still not enough.
Nope. Null will not be enough. He cannot play 2 cards. Mojo World is gone. This looks like with King of Canada, this may be his first retreat of the evening.
Yeah,
I don't see any potential way here because even if they drop, only if they dropped the Chavez, which would make no sense.
No, they're gonna drop the Apocalypse and they're gonna drop it in the either middle lane or Dark Dimension.
Well, that's the question. If they play it into the middle lane, is there a way around it? But even still, I don't see it.
No, because
that big retreat button's the only way to go. Smart call. Apologize, trying to get this from my throat. It's a little off.
No, you're good. You're good. Still haven't seen what that high evo is, what the high evolutionary is doing in that deck yet.
Who knows? Maybe it's a red herring. Maybe he's just trying to throw it off.
No, I think it's
the opponent. I think so too, but maybe it is.
That's the only card that would make sense.
Think about all the cards that we've seen so far, right? See everything that's there on the board, plus Null, Taskmaster. What else?
That's it, right?
You haven't seen Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, High Evo. There's a Colossus, and there's a Wolverine, which actually helps his cause potentially. Daredevil. There we go. So then there's only 2 other cards. We haven't gotten to a turn 6, so it still could be Chavez. Oh, Death.
Yeah, Death was in there.
So right now, there it is. There's really only 1 card slot I don't think we've seen left.
And I think it's
either Chavez or it's got to be the Hulk.
Yeah.
He's really hoping for Taskmaster.
Yeah.
So wait, that's the whole deck. So he has no cards?
No, I think there's still 1. I think Hulk is in the deck.
We'll have to ask the King of Canada later to give us the full deck breakdown just to kind of see what's going on with it.
I can look it up in a minute.
Dracula into the negative zone is nice, and there's the high Evo on the final turn, so there is no Chavez. Death and Daredevil. They're not running anything in particular for control, so you're not going to see a Shang-Chi, for example.
Right.
So 14 power over in the X-Mansion. With the Drac down, you're kind of banking on that A-bomb to fill the Drac lane. It's worth staying in there for 2 cubes. I kind of like it. It's the last one of the cheap rounds, so you know what? You might as well. And here it goes. Death drops. Daredevil drops. 14 power. Colleen Wing tosses the Chavez and the Swarm, which only goes up to 12. So there it is.
So there was nothing
left in their hand.
There was nothing. That seemed like a bad play.
Played it all out. Not necessarily, because if the Drac absorbed it, that Swarm, it would have been just a 0. So it's actually not a terrible play. He just sacrificed the lane.
I guess you're right.
And again, there it is. There's our Taco Hulk.
There he is.
There he is. Finally, 5 games in.
That's how he's feeling too. When he just grabbed it and moved around. He's like,
just like, hey guys, look, I promised I was playing something.
That's what I figured. I mean, like looking through the stuff, that's the only thing that really made sense. These are really bad lanes.
And now on top of it, he is in like the worst possible combo. Only thing that could really just make this even better is like Plunder Castle.
Yeah, because that Dark Dimension it really helps them a lot because they can hide that MODOK.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a free invisible woman. So yeah, 100%.
And he doesn't really have any kind of extra reach for that Sanctum.
Mm-hmm. But he does have a nice combo here. He's got a Hulk he can drop, followed by a Shuri, followed by a Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
He's going with the Shuri first. Oh, no. Oh, that was such a waste of a wave.
I think he's hoping to get the Hulk boosted more.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has any spread cards. Yeah, nobody's playing Wolverine, Dr. Doom. It's not that kind of deck. It's literally lane for lane. So it looks like he might just be going for, let me just overload you and see if you can hang on to me. Here it comes with the Doc Ock, who's doing the pull, pulls down the MODOK. So he just got his free MODOK pop. There's the Wolverine. Where's it going to land? 66% chance, and it lands in Sanctum. Of course it does, because that's how it goes. And you know the APOC is there just like coming and going and coming and going. He's got to try to compete now with that Drac and at least 16 power. for 4 cubes. This is a hard retreat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is a hard retreat if you end up doing so. Because you really, I hate to say it, even if you destroy her into, no, you can't even destroy it.
No.
Dock Up was the last play. So actually he could technically Taskmaster to get it to 23, but it's just not going to be enough.
Well, you got Shuri in the middle, so Shuri isn't doing anything unless you play something there. And this is the final turn, which means you also don't win right side. So there's no win. There's no win.
There's no win condition at all. Sucks to say. That's hard to watch for the King of Canada right there, to have to forfeit a 4-cuber to just get to round 6.
Yeah, not in his favor at all.
No. That's one of the, it's one thing on ladder. It's another thing when you are going up against someone in a tournament here in battle mode. And now he gets a little bit of a gift because of that null. So let's see if he tries to play into it for Onslaught Citadel, but he's got to get a ramp card in the next 3 pulls. Never mind. Remember that time you had a deck you thought you liked, and then District X said, not today?
Yeah, that's a hard one for battle mode. I definitely think, we've talked about this before, I definitely think there's a few locations that just should not be in battle mode. Because those 100%. Are going to be the same thing for Conquest as well. I guess the only upside is it's just one round. I know, like, right now we're in high stakes and stuff like that, but I'm just saying, like, I guess that's the only redeeming factor a little bit.
The Mojo is a tough call because on the one end, you've got a smaller lane with X-Mansion and you kind of push people away, but it's a little risky because you don't know what's going to pop out. On the other end,
I think you go left.
You heavily push people away by the Onslaught Citadel because that's going to get +12 if it gets it to fully pop off. I like it, though, because it's a nice scare tactic. Drax comes down and Angela comes down, basically 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Got a Ronin over there.
The Ronin, knowing that right now, since he's only played 1 card, I think he's going to end up with a 7-card hand right now at this moment. So that Ronin is actually looking really nice.
Yeah,
I would not. Go ahead.
I was going to say, the question is, where do you play it? I mean, you've got Shuri probably coming down this turn, right? So that's what you have to think.
Ronin locks down Onslaught Citadel.
Yeah.
So now you're just trying to beef up somewhere else.
But yeah. So I mean, so you're saving Ronin until turn 6 is what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Which means the Shuri's got to hit a Daredevil.
Potentially. I'm thinking the same thing. What's he got? So you've got a Swordmaster and Baku.
Oh man, you got it.
That's going to drop 12 power onto that lane with 1 spot to go. If he plays that Daredevil, he ties the lane if he plays into it right now, which then would hold the Ronin.
Nah, he's playing the Ronin. He's gonna bank on Mojo getting the buff from having 4 cards over there.
Yeah, but you know they're not going for that. There's no way you do.
I know, but you have to put something there.
You've got to compete though in 3 cards.
Yeah,
and that's what it comes down to. Can they compete in Onslaught Citadel in 3 cards? Because if they can get 3 cards down,
there you go. There's the win right there. Daredevil left, Typhoid Mary right, and you've got that easy.
And there you go.
Luckily.
They didn't have a lot of smalls, apparently, from District X, because the smalls would have helped out also on both lanes by reducing the Ronin just as much.
All right.
It's New York, New York as round number 1 with the Electro in the hand right off the bat. I'm liking it. I like this starting line. It's Lemuria.
Oh, man. This is going to be good because that Hulk turn 6. Galactus turn 5. Potentially Death plus Hulk turn 6.
Yeah, I'd continue to just pocket the Electro until turn 4 at this point. Just leave it be. Don't even give it away. No. I mean, granted, that ninja That's a huge win. Huge win for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you typically kind of leave New York alone, but I really wouldn't either way at this point. He's got the Wolverine down, so it does help out Ant just a tad, though. On this turn, I'm probably playing the Daredevil just
to double
put
check
the body down to reduce. Well, not even that, just to reduce down another thing that's going to die from death. Because you've got 5 cards on the board right now. That brings it to 6, which means your death is going to drop down to a 2. The Mojo now makes it down to a 1.
I think you also want them down just to make sure here you know where you want to put your Galactus. Is it middle? Is it left? What are they playing? Right? Because if that's a MODOK, which it is, you have to remember who's got priority.
How many? Right.
So,
and who's got how many cards in the hand. I'd be taking a look at how many cards are going to die right now or be discarded.
And it should be a good bit. They've only played 1 card a turn.
Okay. But remember that Wolverine's going to pop over too.
Yeah.
Here goes the MODOK, who's going to probably hit that big giant Apocalypse. Yep, there it is. That's going to be a 12er.
Yeah, it's a tough one because, to your point, now we just made Apocalypse big. That's a big card coming down, but we just killed a whole bunch of stuff. So that's going to be...
And he got both Wolverines.
Yeah. So this is... That Hulk.
It is a free death.
But he also
is a free death.
He has Null as well.
I can't see what that Null's number is right now. 17?
17 and Hulk is 18.
Yeah, it's tight. Yeah, I mean, that's the play. You've got Ant on the ropes. I think this is the first time he got off that Galactus.
It is. I couldn't remember how big the Apocalypse was.
Look at that number right there. 32 because of Taco freaking Hulk. That brings it forward, knocks out Antrius. GG's on both sides, and the King of Canada gets to keep his throne going into round number 3.
Remember what I said. What I expect is a high Evo deck. Once we get where we need to go, where it's high Evo plus 1 or 2 cards. I don't think it's the full-on everything into high Evo. So I like that. I'm not saying this is the best high Evo deck, but I like that he's really kind of playing into that Hulk, giving you another giant card, on turn 6 into that.
For this style of deck in particular, if there's one thing I'm going to throw out as an idea to the King of Canada, think about dropping Daredevil and playing Shocker, because this is a ramp style deck, and that extra mana reduction on several of those cards to get them out just that 1 turn earlier. Imagine that combo of, Shocker plus then Electro. You can get a 6-cost card on turn number 4. So that's a pretty adventurous build. I like it because, I mean, let's be honest here. Taco Hulk is Taco Hulk.